Hi, it's Kylie Koo. Welcome to my studio. So it's Saturday and the last vlog has not long since gone live, so I don't know what you'll think about that. I did ask for your views on what you think of the style of vlog and the kind of midweek project. So if you didn't get a chance to comment then, do so now if you think this kind of approach, if you get something from that, then please do let me know. So I left last week's vlog on, I don't want to say a low note, but it was kind of because I was feeling, kind of imposter syndrome had hit me. Inner critic was screaming at me just in terms of different things. And last night, Friday night, I was feeling quite down about everything. I started off this morning a bit more upbeat, and then I had some more issues with finishing off the midweek project that just went up on Wednesday there. If you've not seen it, this is it. This was the little from one big page sketchbook that I made. So if you'd like to see how I made that, do go back. I'll leave the link below and at the end of this video. So yeah, I had some filming issues. There was a bit of film footage missing. Last week's vlog had a bit missing. I'm sure I just inadvertently deleted that. I don't know what happened to the bit in here. I managed to repair things, or at least I will manage to repair things. I've still got the repair to do, but that's okay. I'll just film an extra bit of footage. So I don't know if it's entirely operator error or if something's starting to go wrong with my camera. I'd rather it was operator error because I really don't want to go out and buy a new camera at this point in time. So I also left last week's vlog off with this painting. I think I said there's a couple of things in here that I'm not entirely happy with, so I am going to go back and just have a little play about. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but just for my own satisfaction I feel I need to sort a couple of things there. As I said, this painting is going nowhere. It will just, sit around here for a while as the old one did. Yeah, so it's funny seeing this instead of that other one that was there, but this turned out okay. I like a lot of the background, etc., but I'm not going to talk about that anymore unless I come back to do a little on it. I've got my sketchbook page to do today, so I might do that on camera, I'm not sure. I'd also like to try and do a bit more on this. The sky ended up a little bit more dramatic because I came in with sepia ink, which I am using a lot of. I'm loving the sepia ink just now, but I do want to just differentiate a little bit between the sky and the kind of hills or mountains that are here. So I might just start on that just now and see where that takes me. This doesn't fit, well, it does fit in the screen, but only just. I cut a bit out of that background paper that's now in my sketchbook, which I will show you at some point. I might wait until the sketchbook's finished to show you it, but if you'd like to see it, let me know. So I'm just going to use some titanium white and some Payne's grey. I need to look out a proper mixing palette at some point, but I'll just mix on here meantime. I'm just going to use some titanium white and a little bit of Payne's grey, just to try and, as I say, get a bit more definition in the sky there. And just so that the two mountains in the background are not blending into each other quite as much. Okay, so I think I'm going to call that done for just now. I mean, this was really just a kind of sketch from imagination, mountains or hills coming down into maybe grasslands, tall grasses, you know, the kind of edges of fields or whatever. I keep finding little bits that have rubbed away or something. Just use some pencil there to define the kind of ridge in a few places. I had used black pen before, but not entirely happy with the sky yet, but it's getting there. But I might just leave this. I was trying to get the kind of light and shade of the mountains where perhaps there was some light hitting, but other areas, you know, much darker. So yeah, I like this kind of panoramic format. So that now goes off to the side, and I think it's now sketchbook time. Might record it, might not. Let's see how it goes when I get in there. So these are some of the crystalline papers I made quite some time ago, and I don't think I ever got around to using them, although I have used some in this sketchbook already. But foolishly, I stored them all on top of each other when they were probably still not fully dry, so there is a danger that you're going to tear, but I'm quite keen to use this one. Just do it gently. It's actually coming away okay, better than I thought it was going to do. Losing a little bit there, but that's okay. So technology is trying to get the better of me at the moment, I think, because just as I approached the end of that, camera beeped to say the card was full. However, I think I got it all in. So I'm liking the way the crystalline papers show on that. Probably more of an art journal page than a sketchbook page, because I guess it's just reflected something that was kind of on my mind. I won't say any more about it just now, but I'm going to leave that in the vlog, hopefully. So I'm going to call it a day for today. I will be back tomorrow. This week I've got a house guest coming, so there's a couple of days where I'm probably not going to get anything done. I might get a quick sketchbook thing done, but probably not much more than that. But I will check in with you at some point again. So, good morning. It's Sunday morning. It's just gone 7 AM. I've been up since about 6. Yes, I still have my pyjamas on. Oh dear. I just thought I'd turn the camera on for a minute or so. I love early morning. There's just a quietness and a peacefulness that I love. It's not too early, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I've just been reading some of the comments that you left on last week's vlog, and all I can say is thank you so much. Your wonderful comments are helping me get through what is a really difficult time just now, you know, creatively and in other aspects of life. So I just wanted to pop on after reading them to say thank you so much. You really are so kind. Your comments are uplifting. So I left this here last night. This kind of theme is appearing a lot in this sketchbook. I know exactly what it is, and when I come to do a look through my sketchbook, I'll probably say a bit more about this. As I said, I think last night, it's probably, I don't know, maybe it is just a sketch, but it would be suited to an art journal, and maybe I need to take some of this kind of thing and put it in an art journal as well. The other sketchbooks that I said I'd ordered, I did get them, so I've got 3 of those, but I think I'm going to keep them going as sketchbooks and maybe take some stuff back into my old art journals and try and fill them up. I have this constant debate going on in my head around what it is I want to do, whether it's getting right into canvas now, whether it's doing more art journaling. The sketchbook is something that I'm going to keep up regardless of all of that. That will underpin wherever I go in this phase of my creative journey. Anyway, I'm on to my second cup of coffee, which is probably why I'm a bit talkative just now. But yeah, so back on to see you later. But thanks again for all your wonderful comments. Right, so still Sunday. It's just gone 8:30 AM. It's raining. I was about to go out and feed the birds, but I think they're sheltering and I'm sheltering because of the rain, although I see a few of them starting to move about now, so I'll probably have to go out soon. They do sometimes actually sit at my studio door and look in. The blackbirds in particular will come right up to the door and look if I've not been out to feed them. Anyway, I need to record a bit of additional footage to go in what will, by the time you see this, be last Wednesday's sort of project video. Because I think, as I said yesterday, I did something with the recording again and I lost a bit of footage. So I just want to work with a couple of bits of paper. I'll do more, but just to add a bit into the demonstration. This bit won't be in there, but I thought I could add this into this vlog. I've got my gel plate out, so I'm going to do a bit of gel printing. I was going to grab some stencils. I've nothing lying around. I think I've tidied them all away into the cave, and I need to go outside to get into the cave, so I'm not going to do that just now. But I've pulled out my little box of kind of mark making tools. So little bits and pieces that can just be used to make some interesting marks. So that's all I'm going to do. Including a piece of giant bubble wrap and an old piece of a shower mat or bath mat, whatever it was. Still caked with lots of layers of yummy paint. So, a bit of gel printing. I always think that if you're stuck for anything to do other than just slapping paint onto papers, if you've got a gel plate, it's a great way to kind of just get on. I'm going to move this glass of paint water out the way. Because that's always a recipe for disaster. I've not got a base sheet down, but I'm not going to worry about that because I'll move this, move that to there, that to there, and I'll have a roll-off sheet. And do I have a brayer? Yes, I do. So I've pulled out 4 colours. I've got scarlet red, I've got gold, these are all Arteza paints, I've got phthalo blue and phthalo green. And really all I want to do is to get some colour onto a couple of sheets of paper that I can then use for a bit more of my demonstration. I've also pulled out some of my much loved Carnival tissue paper. I've been using this for years. It's wet strength and it's a bit more durable when using it on the gel plate or in other things, but you can use ordinary gift tissue paper as well. So I'm just going to have a little bit of fun playing here, and then this, well, not the gel plating bit, but the finished product will end up in the Wednesday video. You see, I'm getting myself all mixed up and forgetting what's coming out when, but it doesn't matter. We're going to gel plate. hear the crows. Right, I've got enough to do that project. So here's the printed papers, a bit of a mishmash. I do particularly like this one. I was just trying to pick up the paint around the edges just to save me doing anything extra to those. I quite like that one. Tissue was really just to pick up excess. I also have my roll-off papers. I do quite like this one. I particularly like this one because it has a nice kind of abstract design to it, and that's it. I was thinking about doing a little bit more stamping. So rather than lifting the paint off the gel plate, I would put paint down and then use some of my tools to actually stamp. So I might do that for a little minute. Maybe just do, let's start with some gold and see where that takes us. So I did a bit of both the kind of stamping but also lifting the paint up, and I find these much more interesting now. I particularly like this area. Yeah, maybe not too bad, that area. I was obviously picking up excess paint from times gone by on there. So I think I've got sufficient here to do what I want to do, so I'm going to call it at that because I could sit and do this all day. And yeah, talk to you again later. So I'm going to go off and have some breakfast, something other than coffee, and I might be back on later today. I want to do a bit of tidying up first though. Must go and feed the birds. Rain's off a little bit, but the sky is darkening again, so I think I'll be back on soon. So if I don't see you later today, I'll hopefully be back later in my week. So it's now 5:15 on Sunday evening. The sun is shining at the moment, but it's been a bit mixed today. Sunshine, heavy rain, sunshine, very windy, more rain, sunshine and wind at the moment. I've had quite a productive day. I've got the video finished for Wednesday, which for you will have been last Wednesday. I will upload that tonight so that I can get the thumbnail and that done in the morning. Still need to take images for the thumbnails. The thumbnails can take ages. Yeah, that can be a bit of a pain at times, although I still see it as part of the creative process. I've done a bit of tidying. I've sorted things into bins just to try and keep things a little bit tidier. I have things in bins, these things, all the time, and then I put them on the art carts or on shelves, and then they just, I don't know, they seem to go everywhere. But I've sorted things in terms of using a lot of inks just now, so I've pulled my inks out. I need to get back to using this sort of ink. I used to do lots of drawing in inks, these Winsor & Newton inks. I loved them, but I stopped that. Anyway, I've got all that. So I'm hoping that having this stuff in these little containers will just make it easier. Put some basic pens, Posca pen, pencils, Inktense blocks since I've been using those, and various paints, fluid paints together. So yeah, I'm hoping that just being a little bit more organised will actually help me feel a bit better with things as well. And I've got my 3 little books here. I think I'm going to put some collage into these. I did realise that I'd picked green, red and gold, which was a bit Christmassy looking, not intended, certainly not intended at this time of year. But yes, I think I might stick some collage onto these and then I'll decide what I'm going to do with this one. Maybe collage as well, maybe painting, I'm not sure. But I'm going to close for today. I've got my sketchbook page to do, so I'm going to do that now on my nice tidy table. It does make me feel better. Paintbrush is all washed, paint jar clean. So yeah, I'll probably pop back in before the end of this vlog, but it now will probably not be until Thursday because of my house guest for the next few days. So okay, I'm going to crack on with this now. So it's Thursday. It probably looks like these have not moved, but they have. I am finding this little kind of makeshift supply system really helpful. I've been focused on just using things in here. The only thing I've added to it is my glue stick ran out, so I am now trying out this Elmer's. I'll give you my opinion on it once I've used it a bit more, but I'm using that for collage, including in my sketchbook. And the only other thing I've supplemented it with are a few papers, and mainly those papers that I created a few days ago on the gel plate. So I'm just going to move these out the way and make room for my coffee to come in. So I put the video up making these little journals. These were such fun. I mean, I call them journals, I sometimes call them sketchbooks, I sometimes refer to them as just books. So getting some nice comments on these, so thanks for that. Also, thanks to all of you who answered my questions in the previous week's vlog, where I was saying, were you getting something from these vlogs? Did you like this format of a kind of vlog on a Saturday and a more kind of project based on a Wednesday? And thus far, I think everybody's said yes, they do like that format. And thanks to those of you that said you would basically watch anything I put up. That is very kind of you. So I want to just do a very quick roundup because I am going to bring this to a close, because I do want to start after that to do some work on some other things, perhaps for next week's vlog. I'm out all day tomorrow, Friday, so I do want to get this edited and posted overnight tonight so that it's all ready for Saturday. I'm trying to post at the same time every week, and that is 2 p.m. UK time. So that's both for the Saturday vlog and the Wednesday project. So trying to just get more consistent with both my filming and the time that things go up, just so that, you know, if you want to look out for it coming, you can. And of course, as people always say, if you want to be notified, you know, hit the subscribe, hit the little bell, all those things, and then, you know, you should be notified when they go up. So I'm pleased to say I've managed to continue to work in this. A couple of days it was quite quick projects, but actually that's where my gel prints came in handy, because I've actually been using those as collage. And that was quite serendipitous in a way, because it just brought back the feelings of joy I have for collage. I realised I actually love collage. So, you know, by experimenting in this sketchbook and just doing different things, different projects, I'm really finding out some of the things that I really enjoy doing and perhaps had kind of forgotten about. I feel that I've made a lot of progress since getting back into this. You know, a few of you have said that, you know, you're struggling with creative block and that type of thing. I don't think I actually had creative block. I just didn't have the time to kind of sit down and do anything. I had lots and lots of ideas, but I couldn't bring any to my kind of work table because I just didn't have the time, or I just wasn't here. And then when I was trying to do it, there was always a million other things on my mind. So, you know, we each bring a kind of different set of circumstances as to why we either can't be creative at that point in time, or, you know, we don't always know why. It's just one of those things. But I'm certainly finding that this process, and it is a process, but I'm finding that this is really helping me. I've got a challenge coming up in the sense that I'm going to be going away for a weekend, just a short weekend trip, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not going to be able to take a lot of supplies, and I think this is going to be too big to take. I obviously do have my other little sketchbook that I bought for just kind of when I'm out and about, whether it was on a trip or just going out walking. I haven't done any walking because the weather has been appalling in the sense of rain, but so grateful not to have the weather that's going on in other parts of the world, but there we have it. So it's a dilemma, it's a challenge, because it's a bit like when you start a healthy eating plan, you know, and you get 5 days in and then you kind of say, I'm going to have some crisps or potato chips or whatever, you know, and of course everything in moderation, but you kind of break that healthy eating plan and you go, oh, right, that's it, no point now. So I'm kind of fearful that if I step away from this for a couple of days, that breaks that kind of chain. But at the same token, this is a kind of stream of consciousness, verbal stream of consciousness. By the same token, I'm trying to tell myself, I've been away for almost a year, the best part of a year, where I've created very little. But here I am, having managed to work in this every day. I mean, when did I start on it? The 9th of July. So by the time I go on my little break, if I keep going with it every day, I'll have worked in this for over a month. So there's no reason why I can't step away from it for a couple of days and then come back to it. So I've just got to get that thought fixed in my brain. So sorry, that is a bit of stream of consciousness. It is a bit of a ramble, but maybe that just helps some of you as well. You know, some of you have said that just by sharing my thoughts, it's helping you. So maybe just by sharing that, saying it's actually okay to step away, you can come back to it at the time that suits you best. In this sketchbook, I am doing something that I haven't or don't normally do in the past. Years ago I probably did, but over the last few years I haven't. And that is I would just open anywhere and start a page. Whereas in this sketchbook, I'm trying to work, you know, day by day, going to the next page, the next page, and the next page. Because I've been writing some notes, I have some gaps, and what I'm trying to do is, in between times, go back and fill those. I don't mind that those will be date-wise out of order. One of the things I did last night, because I didn't get my page done until well on into the evening, but I also had a bit of a play with some inks. I'll just show you that. So I've got writing on this page, or half a page of writing. So what I did was I came back in last night. I just wanted to have a play with some of my sort of blue-green inks. It's nothing particular. I was just spraying a bit of water, seeing how they blended into each other. Wrote down the colours that I'd used. And the only other thing I did was I had one of my long strips of paper that I've been enjoying working on, and I simply blotted a lot of this up, just like this. So I have an idea for this, but I may just keep on doing something similar, probably just an abstract, but we'll see how it develops. So that was just to show you there. Beyond that, just my kind of daily page, or sometimes a double page spread, and going back and filling in where there's maybe been a gap. So in terms of going on my trip and stepping away from this, I'm just going to use my little sketchbook. It's an A5 size. Oh no, it's not that one I'm going to use, that's my watercolour one. In the same way that I started afresh in this, I want to start afresh in this book for kind of out and about sketching. So again, this is a sea white of Brighton. I might go on and decorate the cover. Now that I've done this, I might go on and decorate the cover for this. So that might be part of next week's vlog. Same paper, same weight of paper, so cartridge paper, which is the same as this. Pros and cons to some of this paper: if it gets terribly wet, it can pill a little bit, so if it's not got gesso on, it can start to pill, but it's amazing how well it actually comes back from that. You can just brush the little bits off. So I think I'm going to be taking this with me, but I might do a little bit in next week's vlog of pulling some supplies together. I don't want to take too many because I won't get an awful lot of time to kind of sketch, but I do want to have something just so that I do something daily. Might even take one of these, even the tiny one, and a little bit of collage and my glue stick, and we'll see where that takes me. No pressure in doing these, they are what they are, and just a handy little size to kind of drop in a bag or whatever. So thanks for watching, thanks for all the comments that you leave. I'm going to start hearting them, so even if I don't get a reply to them, I'm just going to put a heart on them when I've read it, so you know that I've read it, and then I will come back and reply to them when I can. And I know there's a few questions in there, so I'm going to try and get that done. So thanks ever so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. So take care, everybody. Bye for now.